Having said that, I want to I want to make a little prophecy here of sorts. That today we have a fund which is giving us this kind of a little option or a little window of 25% of our money in sustainable energy and these natural resources funds internationally, because there's a lot of companies who are doing, like some crazy amount of work, and I've been very closely associated with a lot of them uh, through my other interests. I mean, climate science, I'm kind of quite a student of climate science. I've
Oh,
been
wow.
learning a lot about that in the
Hmm.
last 1 year. So I've had a lot of meetings, a lot of interesting things, people who want to come to India and all. So which is why I want to make a little prophecy here. Sooner or later, friends, I think we will have a fund which will completely focus only on sustainable energy or natural resources of its sort. We will not even have this 25% or 10% exposure because companies internationally are doing a much better job of it and they are actually involved. There is a company, for example, in Canada, which I was talking to. They have this amazing technology. What they do is they have a certain mix of chemical and bacteria. So what happens is, let's say, construction industry. How do you make that construction industry green? Because the construction industry is the maximum and the highest consumer of carbon, because they consume the largest amount of energy, they consume the largest amount of power, and they consume the largest amount of all the natural resources, etc. But what if you could have a technology by which you dig a pit into the ground, you pull out the soil from the ground, and then you treat that soil with certain chemicals and bacteria, and that soil itself becomes solid cement, and you don't need to bring a cement van, you don't need to have a mixer coming in. I know some cement companies will suffer, but look at the kind of technology that people are doing research on, and this is something which is extremely exciting. It's like not even known at the moment, but the moment these kind of technologies make their way into India, I mean, it'll be like a wow thing. So which is why, what I want to do is, if you can tell us just a little bit more about the kind of companies that are actually at the moment of prime importance, or so a focus that these international exposures are doing. So today we know we have 25% exposure in the new energy and the sustainable energy world funds of BlackRock, which I think are managed through a European fund. What kind of companies are they looking at, and what are the themes that they are identifying? According to them, what do they think is going to be the greatest area? And that, friends, I think a direct connection with those companies and Indian companies who are manufacturing or who are OEM suppliers here could actually become good and huge game changers over the next decade or so in terms of an investment, whether you're doing a direct stock investment or whether you're investing through a fund like this. So if you can just tell us a little bit more about these two funds specifically and their prime area of focuses.
Right. So the BlackRock Sustainable Energy Fund, today we have about 15% exposure in the NRNE fund. In terms of their investable universes, so they are scouting for ideas across sectors, across businesses. So they aren't really stuck with, what is going to replace oil. They are stuck with what is going to replace a battery, what is going to replace the plate which you and me eat food in, where technologies are happening, green technologies are working. So they are focused on companies across the value chain, across sectors. So I mean, last I was speaking to them, so they gave me an example about a company they bought in South Korea, right? It was some battery technology with, you use lesser lead, lesser, acid over there. And they said it was an emerging thing and we took exposure to it, right? So in over there, what works for them is looking at the P&L and the balance sheet may not be the right starting point, because these companies, as we know, will take time
Mm-hmm.
to develop,
Very
grow,
interesting.
and monetize their work what they have done, right? But it's the idea they see, and these since these people are part of the industry, they've worked on the same sectors, right? They know the industry's ABCD, so they
Right.
try to take a call rather on the market cap, balance sheet. Okay, what is the business this company is doing? One, can they succeed? What are the chances of them to succeed? And can it be monetized at some point of time? That's how they look at it, right? I mean, today we all talk about Tesla and all that. Everyone knows what is
Yes,
Tesla, what they are doing, right?
of
But there are
course.
so many businesses, so many sectors across where we see, after talking to them, we understand what is happening around the world. And in India, when we see that, we said, there's nothing there for us to invest in. So it's
Yes,
for
yes.
them, it's across the board, across the gambit, wherever they see better sustainable technology businesses they're doing, and they're open for the idea of investment. So they are not
Wow.
stuck to one particular sector. That's what how they look at the sustainable energy part. For the energy, it's basically you have the Totals and Chevrons of the world, who are into energy and energy related businesses that they buy. So like I said, for the natural resource fund, how do we look at stocks? So when they have the similar filtration, right? I mean, that's because you are manufacturing of crude, you don't go and buy everything, right? They look at the balance sheet, cash flows, cost of production, management history. So the checks which they do is, again, is a thorough check across businesses they buy. So today, when I ask them, where should I put my money in, right? Since I'm managing this fund and I have an option up to 30%, I can put in these two strategies. So even their view is right now 50-50 is a big strategy because we are coming out of a pandemic. If growth picks up, there's a supply constraint, then even the traditional energy could do well. So they manage it in a very active way. They're open to ideas, but it has to work through their filter in terms of what idea, the sustainability of idea, and in the end, how it's going to be monetized. That's what they look at it.
Wow, great. I mean, what you've said is it reminds me of another meeting that I had with another bunch of people. They were looking for some investments there. A very interesting idea. In COVID, we figured, and I find a lot of my own clients talking about it, that they want to shift away from Mumbai. These days, we are checking our air quality index every now and then on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
You look out of the window and, we see a very gloomy picture. You can't even see beyond, 200 meters from your window. So it's actually quite a scary thing. But then there's this company who makes houses. All right. And this house is actually, the caravan kind of houses. So this is a company, it's called Tenfold. Tenfold is basically the name of the company, tenfold.com or something like that. They have a particular URL there. Everyone can have a look at it. But you know what this company does? The 10 folds, TENFOLD, which means you can fold your house into 10 folds and you can carry it wherever you want to go. So you can just put it up on your truck and basically move it wherever you want. So which means, imagine, we're living in a kind of time where we've just sort of hopefully come out of COVID. We don't even know that for sure. But anyway, having said that, what if you had this option? You have your house, you can just open it wherever you go in a caravan. I mean, it's not sophisticated than a caravan home. It's like a proper home, but the home is just built on wheels and you can just move around. Now look at the investment potential of something like this. You can travel anywhere in the country and you feel like, having a house in Goa, you could do that. You want to carry your house to Manali, you could do that. You want to carry your house, to Rameshwaram, you could do that. And you could also go to Dwarka and, be on the white sands of Dwarka and, open your house there. So you could do pretty much what you want. So many options. So
Interesting.
I know, very interesting, right? So, I mean, these are all companies who are looking for various kind of investments and technology is there, patented, it's all happening around the world, which is why when you said that they are not restricted only to energy, they're just looking at ideas which will make a life better. Then, I mean, these are so many ideas. And there's, I think, from an investment point of view, what we should understand is there is so much of choice that fund managers will